Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for guitarlessons365.com. Today we'll learn how to play 46 and 2 by Tool. So this is my first Tool lesson. So this one's going to be in depth. So the thing about this song is there's a lot of, odd time signatures and it goes back and forth. But it also has kind of the same riff happens many different ways. So the way that I'm going to kind of do this is I'm just going to show you. I'm going to give you the minute and second mark of every new part that we're learning. So we're just going to work our way through the song, learn each part as it occurs, and you're going to get the exact second that it starts. So then you can just kind of, as soon as you get the riff down, you'll have most of the song down, but it's just these slight little variations that you need to watch out for. All right, so let's start here. Now, the beginning of the song just kind of starts with just a volume swell. Now, he's probably using a pedal and not the volume knob on his guitar. He's probably just using a volume pedal, but I'm going to be using the volume knob on the guitar. So just we're in drop D tuning, by the way, so just take your low E string and tune it down a whole step to D. All right, so we're going to hit the bottom three strings there, and then bring the volume in. Do that with your foot, or do that with your volume knob, no big deal. All right, so we have, from there, at the 12-second mark, here comes our first little time indication. We have a muted riff, which sounds like this. All right, so that's 12-10 on the low E string, heavily muted. Really in staccato, just lift up the note after you play each one. So lay on it back here, and then come up to the 13th fret and pull off 13 to 12. So like this. So you barely hit the pull off because the string is so muted. So we have this. And then 12-10 again, and that pull off again. So we have this. And then come down to 8 and slide 8 to 10. So we have this. So that's the riff, and you do that 8 times. All right. Now from there we get to the 37-second mark in the song, and there's a slight variation of that. Instead of doing it just twice, then doing the slide, you actually play the riff 4 times, then do the slide. So it just happens once. It's just one of those one-time variations. So it sounds like this. All right, so it's pretty easy. Instead of twice, just do it 4 times. All right, now from there, we get to the 42-second mark of the song, and we have another swell in with the low power chord. Then we're going to do that power chord at the 3rd fret of the 3 bottom strings, and swell that in, and then to the D power chord. So a little bit bigger here. We're going to add the 2nd fret on the G and the 3rd fret on the B there, along with the 3 low low strings. From there, we have this. All right, so that I'm playing here is the 5th fret on the A, 7th on the D and the G. So pick across those. Then you're gonna do a bar here. So you're gonna lift up your pinky so you can now have this 5th fret being held on the G string. So then you pick 5 on the A, 7 on the D, and then that 5th fret on the G string. So we have this. And then you're gonna come and play 8th fret on the A string, 8, 7, the same 2 notes on the D and the G. So we have this. Then that D power chord. And then here's when the vocals get ready to come in. We have pulling off 5 to 4 on the D, then slide 3 to 5 on the A. As you hold that over a couple of bars as the vocals come in. And then we have this. Swell in the 3rd fret again, and then back to the power chord. Now back to that little palm muted riff we did just a second ago. Now instead of going down to here, for the 4th chord, you just go back to the 1st chord. So we have this. So we're going to continue with this verse by doing this part. All right, some cool stuff there at the end. So we're keeping this, really want to keep the volume knob low or the pedal low, really bring it down. It's 14 on the G to 15 on the B. So you kind of pick across at first, and then you pick them together. Then do the same thing here, 14 on the G, 13 on the B. Same thing here at the 12s on the B and the G. Then move that down to the 7th fret. Then we're an octave lower of where we started here, 2nd fret on the G, the 3rd fret on the B. Then 2 on the G, 1 on the B. Both strings open. And then open D string with the 7th fret there on the G, and you're going to slowly bend that up, and then you get to what I think is probably the main riff of the song, which sounds like this. It's going to be at the 1 minute and 54-second mark, and it sounds like this. All right, so basically 2 different versions of that. One's with power chords, one's just single notes. So we start with the single notes, open D string, and then the 12th fret there. Then the open string again, then hammer 10 to 12. Then the open string again. So the open string is kind of in between all these notes. So we have this open, 12, then the open, hammer 10, 12. Open, pull off 13 to 12, open, then hammer 10 to 12. So we have this so far. Then instead of hitting the open string, you're going to have no sound at all. So you're going to pause and then do a hammer on 8 to 10. So there should be silence there. So it's the same length as if you actually hit the open string. So it sounds like this all together. So you do that 4 times with just the single notes, and then you do the same thing with the full power chord. So it's just the, starting when you hit the open, you hit all 3 strings, and then obviously the power chord is just across the same fret, those bottom 3 strings. So it's the same riff otherwise. Now the 3rd time, you just hit the open strings 4 times. All right, so now we get to the, where are we at? 2 minutes and 18-second mark of the song. And we have this riff, which is played actually 16 times. The first 4 times it's not muted, and the last 12 it is. So this is the actual riff itself. So you can see I went to the muted version of it. So it's on the riff. It's very similar, except you're going to be pretty much picking everything, except for that pull off between 13 and 12. So we have 12, 0, 10, 0, and then pull off 13 and 12. So, and then the 0 again, then 12, 10 again. So basically, here's the riff. And then just repeat that. And then after 2 times of playing that riff, you're going to do the slide from 8 to 10. So we have this. All right, so do that 4 times without being muted. And then just palm mute heavily and pick lighter. For 12 times. Now, he even changes the dynamic of the muting. Sometimes it really brings it down. So just, if you know the song, just kind of follow along. Now, at the very end of the 16th time through, you're gonna grab that 12th fret there on the low D string and then bend it up, building to the next riff, which is the exact same as the riff we went into. The riff that was at the 1 minute and 54 second mark, which I called like the main riff. Exact same thing. You play that riff 4 times single note, and then 3 times with the power chord, or with power chords, and then the 4th times, it still has hits there, but these hits is going to be on the up. So you're going to have kind of, so it's kind of off. It's on the upbeat. So you're going to hit them with upstrokes. So start with a kind of muted downstroke, and then hit all upstrokes, and that'll kind of get you on the timing of it. All right. Now we have at the 3 minute and 30 second mark, we have a little bit different riff. It sounds like this. All right, so it really kind of builds up there. So what we're doing here is, it's a little bit odd. We're gonna play a slide from 5 to 7, then hit 2 of the low D open strings. Then you're gonna hammer 3 to 5, then hit just 1 open string. So it's all, just think of it this way. If you do a hammer on here in this lick, you're gonna play 1 open string behind it. So it's always the open D. And then we're gonna come up to the hammer at the 5-7, then 1 open D, and then you're gonna have the 5-7 here, a 3-5 hammer again, which leads into the slide. So when there's a slide, when you do the slide from 5 to 7, you're gonna hit the open string twice. So let me just play it, might be easier to understand. So you start with a slide, 5-7, 2 hits, and then hammer 3-5, 1 hit, hammer 5-7, 1 hit, and then we're back to 3-5. You're gonna do the hammer on, and you're gonna move that by picking again to the slide. So you don't have an open string after that 3-5. You go into the slide, and then it's gonna be 2 open strings. So here, real slow. All right, so it's a cool riff, but you got to really kind of be able to feel the timing of it. All right, from here we have this tremolo picked little kind of mini guitar solo. 7th fret on the D. Sorry, it's the D note, but it's the G string. Just play that, and then add the 6th fret to that note. The 6th fret on the B string. So you have 2 notes. Your tremolo picking across. Then it goes down to 5 on the B together, still with that 7. And then the 4th fret there on the B. And when you get down to the 4, you bend up the 7th fret on the G string to match, so it's a unison. All right, so now that builds to this riff, which is a little bit kind of a dramatic riff. It's at the 3 minute and 53 second mark. Sounds like this. All right. All right, so that is just the open, kind of really open power chord. to the octave of that, the 12th fret, then the 3rd fret. Then you got to pick the low string, the 6th string to the 5th, then pick that 5th string again, pick it a couple times, and the last time hammer to 5. So we have this. All right, now this part of the song is kind of where they're just kind of really jamming out with the bass player. There's a mixture of having a muted part and then having a part that really is a little bit more open, but it's kind of lower dynamically anyway here. Now, what's going on is we're gonna be playing this riff like this. So that's just pulling off 12 to 0, pulling off 10 to 0, and then pulling off 13 to 12, followed by the open string. So we have this. So you repeat that, and then you go into a muted version of it, and when you do the muted version, you're going to add one little thing at the end. It's going to be so I just added that. It's the exact same thing we played before. So 4 times through that same riff. Now, but you're going to add a low open and then a pull off 10 to 0. So it just extends it real quickly. And then when it goes back to the unmuted, it doesn't do that. And then muted. Add that little extra 10 to 0 pull off. All right? And then you'd be able to stick with everything. All right, after doing that for a little bit, he goes and does the same riff here at the all right, so that's just same riff on the D string instead of the low D string. And then we have this 12, 10, 13, 12, 10, 13, 12, 10, and then you're just gonna kind of just bend that up at the very end. And then we go to the 5-minute and 5-second mark where we're kind of sticking around with that same riff a little bit. And he's doing, you can hear him changing harmonics. I mean, there's a lot of phasers and just all sorts of stuff going on, effects here, but some of it is actually being done with the guitar. So we have this. So that's just that same riff, 12, 0, 10, 0, pull off, and then just repeat. Just kind of hitting a pinch harmonics, moving up and down the 6th string. All right, now at the 5-minute 27-second mark, we have this. All right, so we have that a little different. We're finally getting to the end of the song here. All right, so that is just the kind of the full power chord version of this. So just, and then the hammer between 8 and 10 after you've done that riff twice. So we have it, and then you hammer 8 to 10. So you do that whole part there 3 times. Then you start it again, except now, after you do that pull off, got a quick little open strings here, then we have this. So that's the power chord there, the 3rd fret of the low E, or low D string really. Then the power chord of the 3rd fret off the A string. So that's a regular power chord shape. Then the 3 strings, bottom strings open, then the 1st fret. All All right, and then we're at 5:38 of the song, 5 minutes and 38 seconds. And we have pretty much the same riff we've done before. And then the song is going to end with those hits. So it's just kind of a long one of just the low, the 3 bottom strings open. And then we have the long, and then kind of 4 shorter ones. So we have this. Do that again. And the last time, long, 2, 3. You just do 3. All right, so that is a song they're one of the hardest ones to really get down unless you really know the sound of the song, because that riff is not very difficult to play, and he does it like 15 different ways. So you really got to know the song well, and then you shouldn't have too much trouble putting it all together with these little minute and second markings that I have for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for guitarlessons365.com.